Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cryptic Critiques. Today we're going to be looking at the newest movie, Uncharted. Now, when I first watched the trailer for this movie, and before I was going to see it, I wasn't very excited about it. I really just thought it was going to be okay at best, and it kind of was. It was just okay. I mean, it was not bad for a video game movie, but it was just kind of like in the middle. I still think like Sonic is much better than this, but still for a video game movie, they're notorious for being bad. It's okay. Like I can't really say anything more because there's nothing more to say about it. It's okay. It is fun. It's entertaining. It's just like a wild ride. Some of the things in it don't make sense, but then you realize, oh, they are finding like lost pirate treasure, and so none of it makes sense, So you can just easily ignore those and just have a good time. The jokes in it are pretty good. I mean, I found myself laughing at some of the stuff, and I think they land well, but it kind of just does get like excessive after a bit. And also the pacing is a little weird because you can see in the beginning of the movie it does go pretty slow, and then it starts to really pick up once they get into the plane, and then they do that whole scene from the game that's in the trailer. You all know what I'm talking about. It'll probably play over this video, I don't know when. And even after that it starts to pick up, but then during the end like fight scene it does kind of slow down a little bit, which is really weird. And also I'll talk about this a little. The actors Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg, I think they did a pretty good job. I think their chemistry was fun, and I think they did a pretty good job with the scripts that they were given. I also think that all the characters other than Nathan Drake and Sully aren't very interesting. I think they're definitely the highlight of this movie, except for like some of the action scenes, but the action scenes aren't really that cool either. I mean, the fights are okay. I think like most of the stuff in this movie, it's just okay at best. There's also not really any character development in this movie. Like the biggest change of the characters is that Sully goes from being a real asshole to being slightly less of an asshole. And this movie is also really weird. It's like really wacky and fun. It's just like, if you like try to think about this stuff, you're gonna enjoy it much less. So just like turn your brain off when watching this movie, because like, oh, these ancient ships are now flying from a helicopter and then they're smashing into each other, and there's like, oh, that's fun, I guess. I don't know. It's just don't try and think about most of the stuff that happens, because if you do, you're gonna enjoy it much less than you would if you just turn your brain off. Now, this movie does kind of remind me of that one episode of Rick and Morty where they're like doing a heist and everyone just like double crosses everyone, because that's kind of what this movie is. There's a lot of double crosses, I guess. Spoiler alert, maybe, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You probably already knew that was going to come if you played the video games. I guess that's in it, but I don't know. It just reminded me of that a lot of the characters like turn on each other, then they turn on the characters they turned on, and then, it just happens over and over again. I also would like to compare this movie to like the Venom movies, because I know those movies aren't like good. Like they're pretty messy, they're not the best, but they're very fun to watch, and that's this movie. Like it has a lot of glaring problems that you will see, but it's also really fun to watch, so I don't think it deserves like a 3 out of 10 or anything lower than like a 5 really. But speaking of that, let's just get on to the rating. Now, I'm going to give Uncharted a 6 out of 10, mostly because I did have fun with it. Like, if I didn't have fun with it, it would definitely be like a 3 or a 4 at best. But I think it's just a fun movie. It's not good, but it's like okay for a video game movie, and it's like decent for an actual movie. Something I did forget to mention, but I'll say it now, is that it's actually a pretty good like adventure movie. They aren't always the best, but it's pretty fun. And I thought like the sets were cool, like where they go to solve these riddles, even though it does cut out most of it. Like the very beginning of finding the treasure is all cut out. It's all like, oh, Nate, I was with your brother and we discovered most of this. Now help me find this last thing. And then it's really just the end part of it. So I thought it would have been cool to see the beginning, but it probably wouldn't have worked. Hell, it probably would have made this movie actually worse. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Tell me what you thought of the movie in the comments, and what other movies or shows you want me to review on Cryptic Critiques. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.